And welcome back. And now it's time to talk with our first coach. It is the head baseball coach, Jared Hood, who happens to be an expert in skippering his ball clubs. That is a recent word I found on a big trend as well. We'll go with that. Coach Jared Hood, you had a series against Belhaven, and kind of like the similar situation to the last series, you dropped a tough first game, but then you were able to bounce back and pick up 2 wins against Belhaven to take the series. Big series because you got yourself back in the conference picture. Now, you're currently in 7th place for the conference standings, and there's only 8 teams. So just kind of talk about the series against Belhaven overall.
Yeah, it's a tough series. Had some weather come in the night before. Big field, wind blowing hard, and a fast field. It's all turf over there against a talented club. But like you said, guys – were resilient. They bounced back and able to continue to play hard and to fight. And, Friday night, or I guess Thursday night was the first game because of Easter. We just flat out didn't play well enough to win. In all aspects of the game, you've got to win the pitching duel, you've got to win the offensive side, and you've got to play defense. And we didn't pitch it very well, and we didn't play defense. So therefore, we lost the game. Give our guys some credit. We figured out a way on Friday to come back and to chip away and to keep fighting and just grind out a couple of wins.
And just talking about that grind out mentality, I know the last few games for you guys have been really played down to the wire. So how does that help your team mentally, knowing that you guys are sitting right at 7th in the ASC right now, and coming down the stretch, you guys are going to be playing predominantly ASC opponents. How does that help your team mentally going forward?
Well, with our conference schedule this year, we've played a lot of the top teams, and it's just the luck of the draw. In the 3-year cycle, this is the year to where we kind of go through the gauntlet. So we're a young team. So to answer your question, I think for them to see that no matter what happens, game by game, you've got to take each game as it is, each play as it is, each pitch as it is, and you've got to just keep on fighting. And for them to see some success from that, and to still be in the hunt, it's good for those guys and for our club as a whole. I mean, we're right there in figuring out who we are and what we're trying to do. Got some guys, a whole lot of guys doing a whole lot of different things. Had some big guys step up this weekend. Jonathan Sylvester, another freshman, come in and hit 500 on the weekend, and Derek Finley, a sophomore pitcher, had an outstanding performance. Once again, called for orange, coming in and slamming the door shut in game 2. So we've got some guys doing some good things. We've got to find that consistency level, and a lot of it is how we approach each game, how we approach each pitch and each play, and that goes into practice and everything like that. So once we find that consistency level and kind of mellow out a little bit, we're going to be fine. And we're really excited about these next couple of weeks and see what it has in store.
Now, of course, this week you're not taking on a conference opponent. You're going up to Conway, Arkansas for a doubleheader against Hendrix College. So, obviously you're back in the picture. But when you're talking about playing a midweek game against a non-conference opponent, what does that kind of do as far as the mentality of the team? Just to kind of, having something that might throw you off your conference schedule and all. But what does that do as far as the mentality of your team to try to stay focused and get yourself ready for the upcoming games?
Well, with a young team and an overall inexperienced team, I think the best thing for us to do is just to play, whether that's a conference series or a non-conference series. And what this does, it gets us, a lot more at-bats. Guys that might not be everyday guys on the mound get a chance to pitch. So that way when we get into those crunch time situations in conference series, or when we get to the tournament and pitching staffs run a little thin, you've got guys that have been in situations that have gained some experience and some valuable knowledge into live game situations. I mean, you can practice all that you want to, you can inter squad and everything else, but there's nothing like a live game action and that experience. So for us, still trying to hone in on our offensive approach and what we're trying to do as an offensive club. defensive situations, and overall the experience on the pitching mound is what these kind of series do for us, and they're a quality club up there at Hendricks and going into their place. So, it's another road test, which is good for us. I mean, all of this stuff that we're doing and as far as scheduling and everything like that, it's all building up to what we're going to have to overcome later in the year, and ultimately what these guys are going to have to overcome in the next 3 to 4 years here.
All right, Coach, and kind of my last question for you to kind of wrap it up is just about kind of your rotation so far. I know you said you wanted to kind of change some things up and look at some different things. So what are your assessments so far of how your rotations have been these last few games, and are you confident in what you've seen in the field from your guys with the change up in the lineups?
Yeah, from where we're at right now, it's you got to play the hot hand. If guys are getting it done, I mean, you throw them out there and let them compete. And if guys aren't getting it done, then maybe they just need a mental break and give somebody else a shot to step up. Rotation wise, I mean, we're doing all the right things. We're throwing a lot of strikes. Sometimes too many strikes, and when you don't make quality pitches when you're ahead in the count, you get hit. And so for us, those are things that we can correct. They're not mechanical issues or anything like that. It's all a mentality on the mound, and and pitching's been our strong point this whole year. So I mean, if we pitch the way we're capable of pitching, we're going to be very good. Defensively, we've got to be sound. We've got to make the routine plays, and whoever it is that gives us the best chance to do that is who we're going to go with. And and on the offensive side of the ball, it's a little bit different team than last year and in the years past. So, situational hitting is really big. So all different kind of factors go into, to what we're trying to do and ultimately finding the guys that give us the best chance to win.
All right, well, Coach, best of luck to you tomorrow as you take on Hendricks for a doubleheader. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk with our next head coach. You'll know who it is in just a moment.